Part 21. God Level Tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tien Taido. Chapter 202. Who do you want to get out of the hotel? It's you who should get out of the hotel. At this moment, everyone looked to one side in shock. 7 or 8 middle-aged men there looked like big bosses. Finally, a group of people from the hotel appeared there. The battle was huge. The words just now came from the mouth of one of the middle-aged men with a big belly. What is going on? Who are these people? For a moment, everyone had doubts in their hearts. None of these people looked like ordinary people. At this moment, Lu Guangqiang's complexion changed again and became a little ugly. Why do these people seem to come with bad intentions? Do they know Li Hao in front of them? I saw these people walking up again and coming directly in front of everyone. Who the hell do you think you are? How dare you tell our boss to get lost in our hotel? Are you looking for death? Yu Jiang said coldly to Lu Guangqiang again. After hearing Yu Jiang's words, Lu Guangqiang's expression suddenly changed again. Our hotel tells our boss to get out? What does this mean? Is this person in front of me from this hotel? And everyone around them was watching the scene blankly, a little confused. Even Qin Yaking, Shen Mange, and others had a look of surprise on their faces. The next moment, everyone saw the middle-aged man turn around and look at Li Hao again. The look on the middle-aged man's face was suddenly shocked again, giving rise to a look of respect. Sure enough, just like the photos inside the group company, this young man is the new chairman of Shanshui Group and also their boss. Director Li. Hello. I am Yu Jiang, the general manager of Alice Hot Spring Hotel. Yu Jiang said respectfully to Li Hao, with a very low posture. However, when Yu Jiang's voice fell into the ears of everyone around him, it caused thousands of waves. What? He is the general manager of this hotel. Director Li? Why did he call that Li Hao and Director Li? What's going on? One after another, surprising voices kept ringing. But at this moment, the big guys next to Yu Jiang also took 2 steps forward and said to Li Hao. Hello, Director Li, I am Huang He, the general manager of Boyao Group. Director Li is Ren Changjiang, the chairman of Xin Cheng Group. Director Li, I am Wang An, the general manager of Wandu. I am Gong, the chairman of Zhixin. Director Li. I am. One by one, the big guys directly reported their names. However, when the names of these people were announced, all the people in the party looked extremely shocked. Oh my god. Boyao's boss. Chairman of Xin Cheng Group. And Wang An of Wandu. Big boss. They are all big bosses. They are all big guys worth billions or even tens of billions. Why are all these big guys here? A series of shocking sounds came from the mouths of the people around them. Everyone opened their mouths so wide that they could fit a duck egg in. Their hearts were shocked beyond measure. Hiss. Who is this guy? How come these big guys are so respectful to him? Who is this boyfriend Qin Yaking? There were even a lot of gasps, and everyone's eyes fell on Li Hao. All they saw was that Li Hao was still standing calmly. Well, hello everyone. Li Hao was actually a little confused. Why were all these big guys here, but he didn't know any of them, and he didn't notify anyone when he came here. Li Hao never thought that it was because of his identity was exposed by driving the number 3 officer's car. What's going on? Li Hao also asked weakly, didn't he say that this hotel is not a property of Yu Hao Group? I had asked Qin Yaking before. At this time, Qin Yakin next to her laughed again when she saw this scene, and whispered a reminder in Li Hao's ear. Although this Alice Hotel is not owned by Yu Hao Group, it is owned by Shanshui Group. What? Hearing Qin Yakin's words, Li Hao was suddenly startled and suddenly realized, and then looked at Yu Jiang, the general manager of the hotel in front of him. Is this hotel owned by Shan Shui Group? Li Hao asked Yu Jiang, still wanting to confirm. Yu Jiang nodded heavily, then looked at Qin Yaking, and was suddenly startled again. He hadn't noticed just now, but now he recognized Qin Yaking. Mr. Qin, you are here too. Why didn't you notify me at the Alice Hotel when you came? Yu Jiang immediately said to Qin Yaking again. He had known about Qin Yaking of Yizhuch Group for a long time. A few days ago, he even learned that Shan Shui Group had acquired Qin Yaking's Yizhuch, and the chairman of Yizhuch had suddenly become Shan Shui Group. Yu Jiang, the boss of his Zhuzhu company, was a little surprised at first, but when he saw Qin Yaking and Li Hao together, he suddenly understood. I'm just here to have a reunion with my old classmates. There's no need to bother Mr. Yu, but something pleasant happened just now. Qin Yaking said lightly again. But after hearing Qin Yaking's words, Yu Jiang's eyes suddenly condensed again. He just happened to bump into him when he came in. Yu Jiang turned around again and looked at Lu Guangqiang. Just now, was it you who wanted to get our Shan Shui Group's boss out? Who the hell are you? Yu Jiang said coldly to Lu Guangqiang again. He is the boss of Shan Shui Group. How is this possible? When Lu Guangqiang heard Yu Jiang's words, his face turned pale and he pointed at Li Hao in disbelief. This is impossible. This is impossible. How could this be? Lu Guangqiang said in horror. He thought Qin Yaking's boyfriend was a character that he could step on to death anytime and anywhere, but now the other party has changed and has become someone that he cannot shake at all. Everything is reversed. Oh. Barbecue. I don't know that he is the boss of Shan Shui Group. Lu Guangqiang didn't know that he had hit a wall and offended someone he shouldn't have offended, so he quickly explained. Mr. Yu, I am Lu Guangqiang from Hongchuang Business Management. Just now, this was all a misunderstanding. Lu Guangqiang also reported his company and name. Hongchuang Business Management? Haha, I have heard of it. At this time, another middle-aged man beside Yu Jiang laughed and said, it was Gong Hao from Zhixin Group. It's just a small company that manages a few business projects. These projects may not be yours tomorrow. Gong Hao said lightly, but there was a bit of disdain in his voice. Directly announced the tragic end of Lu Guangqiang's company. Mr. Li, let me handle this little thing. God level tip. Report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 203. Gong Hao said to Li Hao. It's just a small business management company that manages a few projects. With just a few phone calls, he can finish the other company's business. Haha. Thank you very much. Li Hao said with a smile. It would be my honor, Mr. Gong, to take care of Dong Li. Gong Hao also said with a smile. Oh, Director Li, this is what I want to say too. I didn't expect that Mr. Gong would take the lead. Oh, Mr. Gong, why don't you let me go? It's just a small business management company. I can finish him off with just one phone call. Don't go to such trouble, you are all big guys. How can you do this yourself? Let me handle it. At this moment, these big guys were actually rushing to help Li Hao deal with the matter in front of him. In their hearts, they really didn't take Lu Guangqiang in front of them, he was just the boss of a small business management company. They had 100 ways to make him fall into despair. When the voices of these people fell into Lu Guangqiang's ears, Lu Guangqiang's complexion turned extremely pale. It's really finished. These big guys are rushing to touch him. Lu Guangqiang felt that he was almost unsteady on his feet, and his eyesight went dark. Bang! Immediately afterwards, everyone saw Lu Guangqiang and sat down on the ground. Where are the people? At this time, Yu Jiang drank again. Mr. Yu. Suddenly, the duty manager came up with some security personnel. Get this guy out. If he offends our boss, he will be blacklisted directly. Yu Jiang ordered directly. Yes. The manager on duty immediately nodded, and then walked up to Lu Guangqiang with a few security guards. I'm sorry, you are not welcome in our hotel. Do you want to go out on your own? Or should we throw you out? The manager on duty said directly and coldly. Well, let me go. It's really a misunderstanding. I didn't know he was the chairman of Shanshui Group. Lu Guangqiang begged again. He had been arrogant towards Li Hao before, but now he felt extremely panicked. He was really scared. Yaking, am I your old classmate? Ask your boyfriend to let me go. Lu Guangqiang looked at Qin Yaking again and said to Qin Yaking. For the sake of old classmates, please let my company go. Yaking, please. Lu Guangqiang kept talking to Qin Yaking, begging, hoping that Qin Yaking could put in a good word for him because he was an old high school classmate. However, is that what you can call Yaking? I'm the only one who can call my girlfriend that. Li Hao's voice came coldly again, giving no chance at all. Lu Guangqiang's heart suddenly hit rock bottom, and he really felt like he wanted to die. Everything is of no avail. The manager on duty took several security guards and pulled Lu Guangqiang out directly. The scene suddenly became quiet again. The eyes of Qin Yaking's old classmates fell on Li Hao one after another, but their expressions had become completely different. It turns out that Qin Yaking's boyfriend is the real boss. Chairman of Shanshui Group. How rich you must be. No wonder he is wearing a Patek Philippe 5004T worth more than 20 million yuan. The 10 bottles of Mani Conti just now were given to him too. This is the real rich man. Everyone was shocked to the extreme, especially the girls, whose eyes looked at Qin Yaking with a touch of envy. Even Shen Mange, who was standing next to him, was extremely shocked at this moment. This Li Hao is simply the perfect boyfriend candidate. Unfortunately, my best friend beat me to it. No, they haven't confirmed their relationship yet. She still has a chance. Li Hao promised her to accompany her to the Magic City, and this was her chance. Come on, let's keep drinking. Yu Jiang said to everyone again, then picked up the wine glass and said to Li Hao. Director Li, let me toast you. Li Hao also picked up the wine glass, clinked it with it, and then drank it happily. Mr. Qin, I'd like to toast you too. After toasting to Li Hao, Yu Jiang toasted to Qin Yaking. Qin Yaking also smiled, picked up the red wine glass, and took a sip. Director Li, let me toast you too. Director Li. After Yu Jiang toasted, the other big guys also picked up their wine glasses, but they were not polite at all and started drinking directly. After toasting, these big guys left one after another. After all, this was their classmates' reunion. They ruined the atmosphere here, and their interest became a little different, so they were also very sensible. Yu Jiang and others left here. But a lot of food and red wine were served. The class reunion is still going on, but the way everyone looks at Li Hao has become different. After eating and drinking, everyone was ready to soak in the hot springs. When Li Hao saw Qin Yaking and Shen Mange changing clothes and walking out of the suite, Li Hao's eyes became a little brighter. The two women wore the same swimsuit, but in different colors. Although it was a more conservative one-piece style, their figures were still clearly revealed under the swimsuit. It was so exciting to see. Li Hao also changed into a pair of swimming trunks, bare-chested, and went directly to the side of the two women to start soaking in the hot spring. Under the night, under the lights, the hot air was steaming. In the misty water vapor, the pretty faces of the two women were also a little rosy, and they looked very bright and beautiful. The atmosphere was beautiful, and the people were even more beautiful. Li Hao also enjoyed this feeling very much. After staying in the Alice Hot Spring Hotel for one night, Li Hao, Qin Yaking, and Shen Mange left again. Li Hao drove the car and sent Qin Yaking back, and then prepared to drive the car and Shen Mange directly to the airport. Today, Shen Mange was ready to set off for the Magic City again, and Li Hao was also ready to go with her. Li Hao, do you really want to follow her to Shanghai? At the door of the villa, Qin Yaking looked at Li Hao and asked weakly. Yes. I've agreed. It's just right to go to Shanghai to do something. Li Hao nodded and said directly. Then you, be careful. Take good care of Mange for me. Qin Yaking hesitated and wanted to say something, but changed her mind when the words came to her lips. Then, Qin Yaking looked at Shen Mange again. Mange, are you sure you just want Li Hao to walk the red carpet with you? Qin Yaking asked Shen Mange again. For some reason, Qin Yaking actually felt a sense of crisis in her heart. Don't worry. I won't take away your red carpet that you can see on TV. I promise to return it to you after I'm done with it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 204. Don't worry, Yaking, I promise to return it to you after I'm done with it. Shen Mange patted his chest and said in assurance. Let's go. Don't miss me too much. I'll be back in 2 days. Li Hao smiled at Qin Yaking again and said. Humph. Who will miss you? Hurry up and go away. When Qin Yaking heard Li Hao's words, she snorted coldly and said indifferently. Ha ha. When Li Hao saw Qin Yaking like this, he immediately laughed again. Yaking was still the same as before, cold on the outside and hot on the inside, and she was duplicitous. Goodbye Yaking, I'll come back to see you in a few days. Hee hee. Shen Mange said to Qin Yaking again and got on the passenger seat of the car. At the same time, Li Hao had already put Shen Mange's suitcase into the trunk. Today Li Hao drove the Mercedes-Benz S460. This car has a lot of space and is very comfortable to sit in. The main thing is that it is a little low-key. Whether it's his Lamborghini Poison, Bugatti Veyron, or Audi A6, the first two drive down the street, while the latter one looks low-key, but its license plate is extremely eye-catching. Therefore, after some consideration, Li Hao still chose to drive the Steben. After bidding farewell to Qin Yaking, Li Hao and Shen Mange went directly to Jiangbei Airport. Seeing the Mercedes-Benz disappear from her eyes, Qin Yaking's face retracted her eyes, but there was an inexplicable feeling of sadness in her heart. After all, he still didn't confess to himself, and he didn't say it either. The relationship between her and Li Hao is a bit complicated at the moment, somewhere between ordinary friends and boyfriend. Perhaps it is the so-called ambiguity. Ambiguity makes people feel wronged, unable to find evidence of love, knowing when to move forward and when to give up, and even lacking the courage to hug. Ambiguity makes people greedy until waiting becomes meaningless. At this moment, Qin Yaking felt an inexplicable crisis in her heart. If this continues, maybe there really won't be a good ending with Li Hao. Moreover, there are so many people of the opposite sex around Li Hao. If he doesn't take the initiative, he may not be his. Well. Qin Yaking thought a lot. After a while, she sighed again and stopped thinking about it. She would wait until Li Hao came back. Li Hao drove the car and Shen Mange sat in the passenger seat. Neither of them spoke, and the atmosphere was slightly silent. Finally, Shen Mange asked Li Hao, breaking the silence. Li Hao, why did you go to the Magic City? Shen Mange was also a little curious. Li Hao actually agreed to her directly, which made her a little surprised. Li Hao said that he was going to the Magic City to do something on the way, but he didn't know what it was. Seeing Shen Mange's curious look, Li Hao smiled without hiding it and said directly. Take the house. House closing? Do you still have a house in Shanghai? After hearing Li Hao's words, Shen Meng's eyes widened again, with a look of surprise on his face. Yes. Li Hao nodded. Did you just buy it? Shen Meng asked Li Hao again. It's been some time, but I haven't gone to close the house yet. Li Hao said calmly again, in an understatement. Wow, apart from walking on the red carpet and participating in events, I don't have much else to do these days. I'll go with you then. Shen Meng exclaimed and said to Li Hao that he also wanted to see Li Hao's house. Li Hao couldn't help but was startled again when he heard Shen Meng's words. Okay. Li Hao responded directly without refusing. I didn't know what Shen Meng's expression would be like when he saw his house when he went to collect the house. Li Hao was also a little curious in his heart. By the way, Li Hao, have you booked the flight ticket? But at this moment, Shen Meng asked Li Hao again, remembering that yesterday he said he wanted to book a flight, but Li Hao said no. I guess it was because Li Hao had channels or friends to book a flight, right? But Li Hao didn't even ask for her ID number. How did she book the flight? If you rush to the airport now without buying a ticket and wait for a few more hours, it will be embarrassing. No. Li Hao said directly. No. Shen Meng was a little dumbfounded when he heard Li Hao's words. This guy really hadn't booked a flight ticket yet. Why don't you order it yet? Then we have to wait for a long time. Shen Meng was speechless, and then sighed again. Oh, I'll buy it now. Need not. However, at this moment, Li Hao still said. Huh? Don't you need it? Shen Meng looked at Li Hao, his eyes were filled with surprise and a hint of astonishment. What on earth was Li Hao thinking? Li Hao laughed again when he saw Shen Meng's look. Ha ha. You'll know when you get to the airport later. Li Hao said lightly, but didn't say anything. As a result, De Ben sped away towards Jiangbei Airport. Half an hour later, the two arrived at Jiangbei Airport. Li Hao directly put the car in the parking lot of the airport. When he came back, he could drive directly after exiting the airport. Li Hao directly helped Shen Meng push the luggage. Just when Shen Meng thought that Li Hao's other friends might be waiting here and had already bought their tickets for them, Li Hao did not change his boarding pass, but walked directly to the VIP channel next to him, then took out his ID card to verify his identity. Hello, Mr. Li, your plane is ready at the number 9 boarding station. At the checkpoint, the staff member who verified the identity was shocked when he saw Li Hao's information, and said to Li Hao with a respectful look. The young man in front of him was actually on a private plane, which was really rich. Okay. Li Hao nodded. When Shen Meng heard the words of the staff member, she couldn't help but feel a little strange in her heart, and then she handed over her ID card. When the staff member saw the name on the ID card, his eyes widened instantly. Shen Meng. The staff member was shocked and looked at Shen Meng again. Shen Meng was wearing sunglasses, and at this moment she smiled at the staff member, took off the sunglasses directly, and revealed a beautiful face. The airport staff member was shocked suddenly. It was really the big star Shen Meng, but this staff member had worked here for a long time, and he recovered instantly and asked Shen Meng. Ms. Shen, are you with Mr. Li? Yes, I am. Shen Meng nodded. The next moment, Shen Meng passed the security check. Next, Li Hao and Shen Meng went to the number 9 boarding platform again. When Shen Meng followed Li Hao to the number 9 boarding platform. At the entrance of the platform, there were 2 beautiful stewardesses and a man dressed as a captain waiting there. Boss. Boss. Boss, everything is ready, we can take off at any time. When Li Hao walked in, the 2 stewardesses and the captain shouted to Li Hao in unison. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 205. Yeah. Li Hao nodded, then looked at Shen Mange and said to her. Let's go, let's board the plane directly. What's going on? Just the two of us. Shen Mange said in surprise when she saw this scene. How could there be only her and Li Hao at the boarding platform? Are there only the two of them on this flight? Also, why did the captain come out to greet them? And can they take off at any time? How come this flight is like it's specially opened for the two of them? Yes. Just the two of us. Seeing Shen Mange's look, Li Hao smiled and said. Ah. Hearing Li Hao's words, Shen Mange widened her eyes again. Because our flight is special, our plane is the boss's private one. At this time, one of the flight attendants smiled and said again. What? This plane is private. Li Hao, you actually have a private plane? Oh my god. When Shen Mange heard what the stewardess said, her beautiful eyes were filled with shock, and her heart was even more shocked, and she couldn't help but scream. It turned out to be a private plane, no wonder Li Hao didn't even book a ticket. Why do you need to buy a ticket to take your own plane? No wonder, there was no one at the boarding station, no need to queue, boarding and taking off at any time. Is this the treatment of a private plane? Shen Mange was also very excited. She had never been on a private plane before, and she didn't know what it felt like to be on a private plane. Then, Li Hao and Shen Mange boarded the plane directly. The next moment, Shen Mange was shocked by the extremely luxurious interior of this private plane. Luxurious. Luxurious to the extreme. Wow, it's so comfortable to sit. There's something else. Shen Mange said in amazement, sitting on the sofa, feeling extremely comfortable. The huge space was filled with several luxurious leather sofas, massage chairs, and TVs. Then, Shen Mange stood up again and looked inside. There was a conference room, a restaurant, and so on at the back. When Shen Mange came to the tail of the plane, he was deeply attracted by the independent bedroom in front of him. Wow, there is a bathroom and a bed. This is a mobile mansion. Shen Mange said in amazement. A separate bedroom, with a huge bed in the middle of the bedroom. It is not a problem for 4 or 5 people to sleep. There is also an independent bathroom. Especially this bed, it looks very comfortable. Shen Mange couldn't help but want to lie on it. Thinking of this, Shen Mange really did it. Puff. Shen Mange was not polite at all. She stood by the bed and lay down directly, lying like a big character. Looking at Shen Mange's appearance, Li Hao's blood was boiling. Shen Mange was lying like this, and some of her spring scenes were accidentally seen by Li Hao. Li Hao, this plane should be very expensive, right? The next moment, Shen Mange sat up again, her pretty face flushed, she was extremely excited, and asked Li Hao again with great joy. Not bad. It's only about 10 billion. Li Hao said lightly again, with a calm look. Oh my god, 100 million, Li Hao, how much money do you have? Shen Mange couldn't help asking again after hearing what Li Hao said. Haha, I don't know either. Li Hao said with a smile. Li Hao knew the money in the bank card, but he didn't know his specific net worth. He hadn't calculated it carefully. Shares of Yuhao Group, Shanshui Group, a piece of land in his hands, and shares of Wei Brothers and Yingdi Entertainment 2 days ago. Li Hao really didn't know exactly how much his net worth was, but if these were announced, the richest man in Jiangbei would definitely have changed. Shen Mange looked straight at Li Hao again, with a touch of heat in his eyes. Why are you looking at me like that? Li Hao felt Shen Mange's eyes and asked. As soon as Li Hao finished speaking, Shen Mange took 2 steps forward and came to Li Hao, less than an inch away. What? Li Hao didn't understand why Shen Mange was so close to him. And he looked at him straight, with a fiery look. Is it because he is too handsome that he is fascinated by him? But Shen Mange didn't answer. The next moment, Shen Mange took another step forward, then leaned forward and kissed Li Hao's mouth with her red lips. Li Hao was stunned and couldn't help cursing in his heart. Is he kissed by force? Shen Mange actually kissed me on his own initiative? He didn't even say hello. I am the owner of this plane. Is Shen Mange trying to take over? No. Absolutely not. Li Hao, with the idea of not taking advantage of an opportunity, turned passive into active. He is not a casual person, but he is casual. Li Hao is a normal man, and so far, he is single by strength. For a while, the whole plane was full of beauty. Of course, it ended quickly. Because, just when Li Hao wanted to go further, Shen Mange pushed Li Hao away again. No, Li Hao. Not now. You are not my boyfriend. After pushing Li Hao away, Shen Mange blushed and said to Li Hao again. But, Li Hao, I really like you a little bit. Otherwise, you can be my boyfriend. Shen Mange asked Li Hao again, wanting Li Hao to be her boyfriend. She was very direct. If she didn't make a move on such an outstanding person like Li Hao, it might be someone else's. Although she felt a little guilty towards Qin Yaking in her heart, she still had to say it. Moreover, it is not easy to mix in the entertainment industry, especially for a beautiful woman like her who has no background. Those big guys in the circle have been eyeing her for a long time. Just like this ceremony, those big guys must have wanted to make a move on her, and she asked Li Hao to help her block it. For Li Hao, she really has an indescribable love. Although she was drunk when they met for the first time, she still vaguely remembered the scene where Li Hao saved her and Yaking. And this time, Li Hao always gave her a sense of surprise. Shen Mange felt that Li Hao was full of mystery, which made people yearn for him. Li Hao was stunned when he heard Shen Mange's words. Be her boyfriend? It must be said that Shen Mange is very beautiful and a big star. Any man would like her. But for some reason, Li Hao thought of something else at this moment. Oh, forget it. Let's talk about it later. However, before Li Hao could answer, Shen Mange thought of something else and sighed and said directly. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Tian Taido. Chapter 206. Shen Mange wanted Li Hao to be her boyfriend, but after thinking about it, she decided against it. Although Shen Mange really had a crush on Li Hao, Shen Mange still felt a sense of guilt in her heart. After all, Li Hao was nominally her best friend's boyfriend. Boom. Not long after, the plane took off directly. But it is very stable. Li Hao sat on the sofa, and Shen Mange sat on the other side. There was also a beautiful stewardess serving Li Hao, serving tea and water, and even taking the initiative to massage Li Hao's shoulders. It actually made Li Hao enjoy it immensely. It takes 2 or 3 hours to fly from Jiangbei to Shanghai. But it was very smooth and comfortable all the way. Li Hao closed his eyes and took a rest. When he opened it again, he had already arrived at the Magic City's Modong airport. When the two of them walked out of the airport, a woman in uniform blocked them at the door. Sister Wen, why are you here? When you saw this woman, Shen Mange's eyes widened and he said in surprise. Mange, you actually ran back to Jiangbei without saying a word. It's true. The celebration will start tomorrow. If you don't come back, I will chase you to Jiangbei. This woman, who looked to be in her 30s, had an ordinary appearance, but looked very capable, and said to Shen Mange again. Sister Wen, am I back now? Shen Mange's brows were filled with helplessness. You are a big star. You are not an ordinary person, so be careful. Don't cause any bad news or anything like that. The woman said directly again, and then her eyes fell on Li Hao again. Who is this? When this woman saw Li Hao, she was shocked. Could it be her boyfriend? If it was a boyfriend, that would be big news. Friend. Walk the red carpet with me. Shen Mange said directly again. What? You want him to accompany you on the red carpet? Who is he? How can he walk with you? Is he also from the entertainment industry? You have to know that walking on the red carpet is no joke. Many media those present. When the woman heard Shen Mange's words, she couldn't help but be shocked again. If the young man in front of her was also a traffic star in the entertainment industry, it wouldn't matter. She could still get some traffic, but she had never seen this young man before, and he was definitely not from the entertainment industry. Shen Mange wants to take this guy to the red carpet. Isn't that a joke? Walking on the red carpet is not just playing house. No. Oh, Sister Wen, it's okay. Shen Mange said directly again. Li Hao, this is Zhang Wen. Sister Wen is my agent and the person I trust most. Shen Mange introduced Li Hao again. Hello. Li Hao said hello directly with a smile on his face. Zhang Wen glanced at Li Hao again. In addition to being handsome, this guy also had a somewhat outstanding temperament, but his clothes were relatively ordinary, not a famous brand, and he didn't look like a rich man. People like this don't know what Shen Mange is thinking. But Zhang Wen didn't ask any more questions and said to Shen Mange again. Let's go back. Shen Mange nodded, but then said again. Sister Wen, let him come with us. Anyway, we still have a room available. It's just for 2 nights. This is not good. Mange, you are a big singer. If you are photographed taking a man back, there may be some negative news, which will not be good for your development. Zhang Wen said directly again. No need. I'm staying in a hotel. Shen Mange wanted to say something else, but at this moment Li Hao said directly. Okay. Then you can go to the Baogalai Hotel. It's near where we live, and it's also a hotel owned by Yu Hao Group. Shen Mange immediately said to Li Hao again. Li Hao nodded. The hotels under the Yu Hao Group are just right and you don't have to pay for them. As a result, Li Hao and Shen Mange got into a Mercedes-Benz commercial vehicle and left the Modong airport. This Mercedes-Benz commercial vehicle was driven by Lu Wen. After placing Li Hao directly at the door of the hotel, Shen Mange suddenly remembered another question and asked Li Hao immediately. By the way, Li Hao, do you have a suit? You need to wear a suit on the red carpet tomorrow. What do you think? I didn't bring anything. Li Hao said calmly again, he didn't even have any luggage. Wasn't this asking questions knowingly? Don't tell me earlier. Okay, then you wait for me here. I will accompany you to buy a set in the evening. Now I will go back and clean up first, and you can also take a nap in the hotel. Shen Mange said directly to Li Hao again. It's still noon, it's still early, and it's quite hot outside in broad daylight, and it's not convenient for her to be a celebrity, so it's better to go out at night. Well, okay. Li Hao said calmly, as if nothing mattered. The next moment, Shen Mange and Lu Wen left directly again. Li Hao walked directly into the Baogalai Hotel. This Baogalai Hotel is also very famous in Shanghai. It is ranked at least in the top 10, and staying here for 1 night costs at least several thousand. When Li Hao walked into the hotel, the beautiful waiter at the front desk stood up and asked Li Hao. Hello sir, do you want to stay in a hotel? Are you alone? Yeah. Just one person. Just book a room. Li Hao nodded directly and said lightly. Okay, sir, please show me your ID card. The waiter immediately said again. As a result, Li Hao directly took out his ID card and handed it to the other party. The next moment, the beautiful waiter swiped Li Hao's ID card. Li Hao's identity information was displayed on the computer. Oh my God, Li Hao. Are you Mr. Li? The beautiful waiter suddenly exclaimed. Isn't the young man in front of him the CEO of their Yuhao group? What's wrong? Song Yu. At this time, another voice asked from the side. It was a middle-aged man in a suit holding a walkie-talkie. The man's work badge showed that he was the lobby manager. Manager Wang, this is Mr. Li. The woman named Song Yu said immediately. What, Mr. Li? Where is Mr. Li? The lobby manager looked puzzled and said with a frown. He glanced at Li Hao, but didn't recognize him. However, the next moment, he looked at the information displayed on the computer. Ah! President Li. Hello, Mr. Li, I am Wang Xiaohui, the lobby manager. Welcome Mr. Li to Baogalai Hotel. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 207. Li Hao's identity information can be found out by checking the internal system of Baogalai Hotel. At this moment, after Li Hao's identity was swiped out by his ID card, the front desk and lobby manager of the hotel were shocked. The two looked serious and seemed to be a little embarrassed. The man in front of them was the executive president of Yuhao Group. Pressure. Although the young man looked harmless, he gave them unparalleled pressure. I just came to our hotel to book a room for 2 nights. Li Hao said lightly, but he was not arrogant at all. Okay, Mr. Li, please follow me. The presidential suite on the top floor is also reserved for you. The lobby manager was relieved immediately, thinking that Li Hao was here for a secret inspection, and immediately said to Li Hao. The next moment, Li Hao followed the lobby manager directly to the top floor of the building by the passenger elevator, and was taken into a presidential suite. This presidential suite was reserved for Li Hao, or rather, for group executives like Li Hao. The height of the 48th floor and the panoramic floor-to-ceiling windows made Li Hao feel a sense of standing on the top of the world and overlooking all the mountains. Prosperous, this magic city is more prosperous than Jiangbei, with tall buildings and mountains standing in rows, and cars flowing on the road. From a distance, you can also see some iconic buildings, such as the Magic City Global Financial Center, the Golden Hair Building, and the Magic East Pearl. In the afternoon, Li Hao had nothing to do, so he directly took out some spiritual stones from the system's small world and placed them around his body. In an instant, the entire suite was filled with pure and incomparable spiritual energy. Li Hao directly started to practice the cultivation method, and then began to absorb these spiritual energies and began to practice. On weekdays, Li Hao rarely practiced, but recently, Li Hao felt that he was not far from a breakthrough, and he became more diligent. Boom! A wisp of spiritual energy was directly absorbed into Li Hao's body. Li Hao only felt that his cultivation became more and more solid, and his strength became stronger and stronger. Li Hao was already in the early stage of Dan formation at the moment. At this moment, his cultivation realm began to slowly improve under cultivation. After a while, the spiritual stones in Li Hao's body turned into powder, and all the spiritual power in them was absorbed by Li Hao. So, Li Hao took out more spiritual stones and continued to practice. Fortunately, he had obtained the spiritual vein before, and there were many spiritual stones. Li Hao was not short of spiritual stones now. Unknowingly, Li Hao practiced for another afternoon. At a certain moment, boom! Li Hao's body suddenly burst out with an extremely amazing momentum, which was stronger than before, and directly reached a higher level. It was as if there was a barrier on Li Hao's body, but it was broken at this moment. The power in Li Hao's body became extremely magnificent. The realm was broken through. Li Hao went directly from being a cultivator in the early stage of Jindan to a cultivator in the middle stage of Jindan. Li Hao's temperament also became more extraordinary. As Li Hao's realm broke through, Li Hao's cultivation power was many times stronger than before, and some changes also occurred in Li Hao's body. There was originally an inner pill in Li Hao's Danshan, but at this moment, this inner pill was rapidly selecting, and some strange patterns appeared on the inner pill. This inner pill was filled with the breath of the great Dao, and it was flowing with endless pure spiritual power. Li Hao suddenly opened his eyes, clenched his fists, felt the power in his body, and a smile appeared on his face. Powerful. Li Hao felt that he was full of powerful power, as if he could really overturn the mountains and seas. At the same time, Li Hao's perception became more acute, and everything that happened within a few miles could be clearly perceived. Faintly, Li Hao actually felt a strong breath in two directions. That was a cultivator. There are actually cultivators in this demon city. As a super city in China, there are obviously some very powerful people here. Li Hao broke through and did not continue to practice. Now that he has just broken through, it may take a long time for the next time. He needs to practice slowly to settle down, so he is not in a hurry. Looking at the sky, it has darkened outside. Unconsciously, he has practiced for a whole afternoon. Through the window, Li Hao saw that it was prosperous everywhere. There were gorgeous neon lights everywhere, and the lights were extremely bright, weaving a beautiful night. But at this time, ding ding ding. Li Hao's cell phone rang again. The call was from Shen Mange. Hello. Li Hao, I'm already at the door of the hotel. Come down. Shen Mange said directly to Li Hao on the phone. Shen Mange has arrived and said that he will take Li Hao to buy a suit to wear on the red carpet tomorrow. Okay, come down right away. Li Hao said directly, and then walked out of the hotel. At the entrance of the hotel, Shen Mange appeared in front of Li Hao in a Porsche. Li Hao sat directly on the passenger seat. Buzz. Suddenly, the roar of the Porsche engine resounded, and then the Porsche sped away. Jing'an Road. The most prosperous area in Shanghai. This is the most high-end business district in the entire Magic City. Soon, the Porsche arrived at Jing'an Road. Even at night, Shen Mange still wore a pair of sunglasses, not wanting anyone to recognize his identity. Shen Mange was sitting in the driver's seat, waiting for the red light in his Porsche. However, at this moment, boom! To the left of the Porsche, there was a sudden roar of a car. The next moment, a red Ferrari appeared on the left side of the Porsche. Sitting in the Ferrari was a young man who looked to be in his 20s, wearing designer clothes and carrying a famous watch. Ye Tianzheng drove a Ferrari out to hit the street, and stopped by to meet two girls nearby. At this moment, I just arrived here, waiting for a red light, and inadvertently glanced at the Porsche next to me. The person who drives the Porsche is very elegant. Although she is wearing sunglasses, she looks like a beautiful woman at first glance, and her profile is also so pretty. Beauty, why are you driving a Porsche? Come to my car and drive a Ferrari. Ye Tian said directly to the woman driving the Porsche, with a hint of pride in his voice. He naturally noticed that there was a boy sitting next to the woman in the Porsche. But what existence does that have? It's not like he has never done this before, teasing someone in front of their boyfriend. When Shen Mange heard Ye Tian's words, he frowned and did not respond. Hey, beauty, why don't you say anything? However, Ye Tian said again. The next moment, the boy next to the woman turned his head. Ye Tian accidentally saw the other party's appearance. It's actually you. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Tian Taido. Chapter 208. Ye Tian's eyes widened and he looked in disbelief at the passenger seat of the Porsche next to him. A boy was sitting on it with a relaxed expression. As for this boy, Ye Tian had seen him before, and he was very impressed. A few days ago, he was ordered by his family elders to go to Jiangbei to bring back his cousin Ye Xiun. It was because of the appearance of this guy in front of them that they failed to bring Ye back. He was also criticized by his family for this. Human blame. In Ye Tian's heart, he was extremely resentful towards Li Hao. He didn't expect to see him in the Magic City. Moreover, the other party was actually sitting on the passenger seat of a girl. Ye Tian's eyes narrowed. The next moment, Ye Tian suddenly laughed again. Ha ha. Enemies are really on the same road. Ye Tian said coldly. Young girl actually came to the Magic City. Aren't you living with Ye Xiun? It turns out that you were just playing with her. What a tragedy. If Ye Xiun knew that you were here with another girl together, she must be very sad. Ye Tian looked at Li Hao, but said coldly, he thought that this guy lived in a villa with Ye Xiun in Jiangbei before, and they had a close relationship. They were probably boyfriend and girlfriend. If Xiun knew about this, Ye Xiun would definitely be heartbroken. When Li Hao heard Ye Tian's words, he glanced at this guy lightly. Idiot. Li Hao said directly. Then, the red light ahead turned green again. Shen Mange hit the accelerator again, then drove the Porsche and sped away. Ye Tian was stunned, but his expression became extremely gloomy. Now that you have encountered it, you will be miserable. Ye Tian looked at the rear of the Porsche in front of him again, with a hint of coldness in his voice. Buzz. Ye Tian had some ideas in his mind and made a decision. This magical city is his own territory, and he must get back to where he was last time. But Ye Tian also knows that the other party is not an ordinary person, but a warrior, and it is very likely that he is at the peak of the warrior, and even has half a foot in the existence of a monk. Otherwise, the warriors who did not take him there easily last time solve it. Moreover, the woman in the other person's car is so beautiful from the side wearing glasses. If she looks at her from the front, she would be stunning. He has fallen in love with her and must get her. The next moment, Ye Tian directly stepped on the accelerator, then turned the steering wheel and chased after the Porsche in front. Moreover, Ye Tian picked up his mobile phone again and made a call directly. Shen Mange still drove the car, and then drove the car directly to the underground parking lot and parked it. Next, Shen Mange took Li Hao to buy a suit. This Jing'an Road is the most prosperous area of the Magic City, with a commercial center next to it. Shen Mange had been here not once or twice, but he was very familiar with this place. He quickly brought Li Hao to a shopping mall. Various clothing brands can be found everywhere here. Armani, Hermes, Aston, Givenchy, etc. Look, which brand do you want? Shen Mange asked Li Hao directly. I don't care, it's okay. Li Hao said lightly. Then let's try it first. Shen Mange said with a smile again, turned around and walked into Connery. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Soon, a shopping guide came directly to greet him. Here are 2 suits he wears. Shen Mange said directly to the shopping guide. Okay. Only about 10 minutes later, Li Hao and Shen Mange walked out. When he walked out, Li Hao had already put on a dark blue suit. Wearing the suit on Li Hao fully demonstrated Li Hao's temperament, and even raised it to a higher level. Li Hao, who is already very handsome, is even more eye-catching when he puts on this suit, and it gives Li Hao a unique charm. Li Hao, you are so handsome. These suits are as if they were tailor-made for you. Shen Mange looked at Li Hao, her pretty face turned a little crimson, and couldn't help but say to Li Hao. Just now, Li Hao tried on a suit casually, but when he stood up, he shocked everyone, even the shopping guide selling clothes in Connery was fascinated. Afterwards, Li Hao tried another set, which was also very good looking and handsome. So, I simply didn't try it out and just bought 2 sets. Originally, Shen Mange wanted to pay Li Hao, but Li Hao refused. It was only a few $100,000, and he didn't lack the money now. After buying a suit, Li Hao was led by Shen Mange to buy many other things, such as clothes, cosmetics, etc., one after another. Soon, Li Hao turned into a human clothes hanger. I bought something and went to eat. The goddess also loves to eat. In the past, Shen Mange was controlled by her manager, Sister Wen, but now she seems to have completely let go. Li Hao had no choice but to follow. I need to go to the toilet, wait for me. Perhaps because he drank too much, Shen Mange also ran to the toilet twice. Li Hao simply sat down at a resting position and waited for Shen Mange. Handsome guy, can you add me on WeChat? Shen Mange had just walked away from Li Hao, and a girl next to him came to Li Hao and said to him, Li Hao, add WeChat? How can this be called adding WeChat? This is clearly an attempt to take my body. Just say it directly, be more direct, why add WeChat? Okay. Li Hao looked at the other person's appearance, and he was pretty good. If the full score was 100, he would be at least 70 points, so Li Hao did not refuse, and directly took out his mobile phone and added the other person as a WeChat friend. Are you alone? Handsome guy. I have an extra movie ticket here, can we go to the movies together? One person added WeChat, and the next moment there was another person who wanted Li Hao to go to the movies with him. Sorry, I'm waiting for someone. Li Hao said lightly and refused directly. Handsome guy. There were quite a lot of beautiful women who approached Li Hao, but when the third beauty also wanted to add Li Hao's WeChat, Li Hao frowned. 10 minutes have passed. Why hasn't Yeshiun come back from the toilet yet? This shouldn't happen. And the toilet isn't far away. The next moment, Li Hao activated his cultivation power and released his perception power. Boom. Before, Li Hao had been restraining his perception power. He couldn't use it all the time. Li Hao didn't have any special hobbies. When this perception power was released, everything around him was within his perception. The invisible power was spreading, and the range was expanding. A moment later, Li Hao's eyes suddenly condensed. You're really looking for death. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 209. Really looking for death? Li Hao said coldly, his voice filled with a hint of chill. Because, in Li Hao's perception, Shen Mange was not in the toilet, but got into a black Mercedes-Benz. She didn't go up on her own initiative, but was helped up by two boys, and Shen Mange seemed to have lost consciousness. Boom. The next moment, the black Mercedes-Benz sped away and was already 2 miles away. At the same time, Li Hao also sensed that there was a red Ferrari in front of the black Mercedes-Benz. No need to guess, Li Hao already knew who did this. That Ye Tian. A member of the Ye family in the magical city. In broad daylight, the other party dared to kidnap Shen Mange. This must be too audacious. It's just looking for death. Li Hao's eyes really burst out with murderous intent. Although Shen Mange was not his woman, she was the one who was with him. If something happened, he would also be responsible. Therefore, Li Hao naturally could not watch Shen Mange being kidnapped. The next moment, Li Hao stood up directly and walked out. If he used his cultivation power and magic at this moment, Li Hao could easily catch up. But this is the most prosperous area of the magic city. In that case, it would be too eye-catching, and it might be on the news the next day. But, I don't have a car now. Shen Mange's car keys were still on her body, and Li Hao couldn't drive the Porsche. Buzz. Just when Li Hao was wondering how to catch up, the roar of a car could be heard nearby. Suddenly, Li Hao's eyes lit up. A very aggressive yellow Lamborghini appeared next to Li Hao and then stopped directly on the side of the road. A beautiful woman in a short skirt got out of the passenger seat. Brother Do, are you really going to leave me here? Do you still want to go to your home? Don't you want me to spend more time with you? After the beautiful woman got out of the car, She still looked reluctant and said to the man driving the mountain. Li Hao noticed that the man in the driver's seat was a young man, who looked to be in his 20s. He was wearing a black floral t-shirt, with a shaved head, and a chain studded with diamonds around his neck. He is also very handsome, almost catching up with himself. You still want to go to my house? You're not qualified enough. I'm leaving. Let's play again next time. When the young man heard what the woman said, he said coldly, and then he was ready to leave directly. Women are like clothes. When they become worn out after a short period of time, it's time to replace them. This idea has always been in the young man's mind. These women are all interested in his money and want to achieve success in one step or even marry into a wealthy family, but this is too fanciful. He hasn't had enough fun yet. He has never thought about getting married. Being with these girls is just for fun. Chin Do looked at this woman, looking reluctant to leave, and even about to cry. However, he did not show any nostalgia, nor was he soft-hearted at all. He was very free and easy. Even if he was ready to leave, there was still Jinghua. The good friend who came here was going to a bar and dancing at a disco on a date, and he had to rush there. However, just when Chin Do was about to step on the accelerator, the passenger door of his car was actually opened, and a young man who was younger and more handsome than him sat directly in. Who are you? Are you looking for death? Can you sit in my passenger seat? Chin Do immediately became a little angry. His co-pilot seats were all occupied by beautiful girls. He had never sat in the seat with that man, not even his good brothers. Moreover, this guy sat on the seat without even saying hello. He simply didn't look down on him, the leader of the 4 young masters of the Demon City. If you don't want to die, just drive. However, the young man said to him sharply, I'm not scared. Do you know who I am? If you touch a hair on my face, you won't get out of the Magic City alive. Chin Do has never seen anyone dare to speak to him like this. The head of the 4 young masters of the Demon City is not just talking about it for fun, and his family is the leading wealthy family in the Demon City. There is a man who serves in the city's garrison. He has money and power. At this moment, he is actually threatened by a strange young man. How can he accept it? Chin Do immediately said to Li Hao angrily. Bang! However, just as Chin Do finished speaking, a fist hit his eyes directly. Ah! Chin Do suddenly screamed, covered one eye, and said sharply again. You're dead. You're damn dead. How dare you hit me? I'm going to kill you. If you say any more nonsense, I will destroy you now. Looking at Chin Do with a cold look, Li Hao said coldly again. In an instant, a powerful aura was released from Li Hao's body, pressing down on Chin Do. Boom! Chin Do's expression suddenly changed, and he felt that breathing was becoming difficult, as if he was about to die at any time, and his life was completely under the opponent's control. Chin Do's heart suddenly surged, and he felt cold sweat break out on his forehead. Chin Do was also a warrior, but he didn't dare to make the slightest move at this moment. He clearly felt the pressure coming from the other party, which was stronger than the pressure from his old man. You know, the old man in his family is a member of the Demon City Guards. Boss, I was wrong. Drive, drive, I'll drive right away. Fasten your seatbelt. Chin Do quickly said to Li Hao again. His eyes were swollen, but he smiled at Li Hao. I can't afford it. Boom. Chin Do quickly stepped on the accelerator, and then the Lamborghini jumped out. Chin Do was beaten. The long-legged beauty who had just been driven out of the car by Chin Do looked at the scene and couldn't believe her eyes, and said in surprise. The other side. On top of the Lamborghini. Boss, where are you going? Chin Do immediately said to Li Hao again. Just follow the black Mercedes-Benz in front of you. Li Hao pointed in the direction in front and said directly. Okay. Although Qin Do didn't know what the guy next to him wanted to do, he still said it directly. The next moment, Li Hao glanced at the guy next to him again. It's quite a coincidence. Even if I get into a car at random, I will still encounter system prompts. That's right, the guy next to him is staring at a red exclamation mark on his head. Without any hesitation, Li Hao directly clicked on the prompt for the mountain above this guy's head, and immediately got some prompt information. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 210. Li Hao directly clicked on the prompt message above the guy next to him. The next moment, another 20,000 yuan was directly deducted from Li Hao's bank account by the system. Qin Do, the second generation of super rich, is 27 years old. His father Qin Li is worth hundreds of billions, and his grandfather is an old soldier. Click downward arrow to get more prompt information. The system prompt message came out immediately, introducing Qin Do's identity and family background. Even the identities of his family members were clearly known by Li Hao. Immediately afterwards, Li Hao clicked the down arrow without hesitation. After deducting another 40,000 yuan, Li Hao suddenly got more information about Qin Do. Because he is a super rich second generation, Qin Do has never lacked girls around him since he was a teenager. His girlfriends have changed. Click downward arrow to get more prompt information. Seeing this prompt, Li Hao's expression became a little weird. Li Hao looked at the guy next to him and couldn't help but secretly thought, awesome. I have so many girlfriends. Damn, you are so awesome. This guy is always on the road. He is truly the king of soldiers, and Li Hao cannot help but admire him. Li Hao glanced at this guy in surprise again. He had to admire his waist. However, Li Hao could still tell at a glance that this guy's body was already a little weak, and he was afraid that something would go wrong in a few days. Of course, Li Hao didn't bother to care about this guy. However, the reminders on this guy are not over yet, there are still more. Ever since, Li Hao clicked the down arrow again. The money in the bank card was directly deducted by the system for another 80,000 yuan. Half an hour later, one of Qin Do's ex-girlfriends will call him and tell him that she is pregnant with his child. Seeing this system prompt, Li Hao wanted to laugh in his heart and shook his head slightly. It seemed that this guy was going to be tricked by his ex-girlfriend. However, Li Hao now doesn't care about the other party's messy things. Li Hao's first priority now is to save Shen Mange. Beside, while driving, Qin Do secretly glanced at this young man. This young man looked very young, but his aura was extremely terrifying. This young man was still carrying many bags in his hands and was wearing a brand new suit, which belonged to Connery. He must have just bought it. Qin Do was also surprised in his heart about this young man's identity. The next moment, Qin Do's heart was slightly condensed again, because he noticed that after this guy came up, he stared at him from time to time, and there was a hint of weirdness in his eyes, and now he was shaking his head at him. What does this mean? What on earth is this guy going to do? The next moment, Qin Do glanced casually and noticed the watch on the hand of the guy next to him. Holy shit, Patek Philippe 5004T titanium version. Qin Do's eyes suddenly widened and he said in horror. As a super rich second generation, he naturally has extraordinary experience. He recognized the watch Li Hao was wearing at a glance. It was the Patek Philippe 5004T titanium version. Even though he wanted to get one at the beginning, there was no way. This watch costs more than 20 million, and it's not easy to get. You know, the Richard Mille RM52-05 astronaut tourbillon he is wearing only costs less than RMB 10,200,000. Who is this guy? Even richer than him. Chin Do couldn't help but have some doubts and curiosity in his heart. It stands to reason that people who can afford to wear such a watch will not have a car? He. Li Hao smiled faintly and said nothing more. Boss, can I ask you, who are you? You must not be from the Magic City, right? Otherwise, there is no way I wouldn't know you. Chin Do asked Li Hao again. Li Hao glanced at this guy indifferently and could actually tell that he was not from the Magic City. No. Li Hao said in a deep voice again. Boss, do you know who I am? Chin Do asked again. If the other party knew his identity, he didn't know what his reaction would be. Isn't he Chin Do, the second-generation rich man from Shanghai? He started at the age of 18. He's pretty awesome. Li Hao looked at Chin Do strangely again and said lightly, telling some of Chin Do's glorious experiences. However, as soon as Li Hao's words came out, Chin Do next to him suddenly widened his eyes again, as if he had seen a ghost. How do you know? Have you investigated me? Chin Do looked at Li Hao in disbelief and said in a deep voice. You are like this, do you need to investigate? Everyone in the Magic City knows that. Li Hao said disdainfully again. Are you from Modu? Chin Do asked curiously again. No. Li Hao said calmly again. Parking. The next moment, Chin Do stopped the Lamborghini, but he looked confused again. Aren't you going to follow? Are you driving a classic car? I'll drive it. Li Hao said sharply again. Chin Do was speechless and could only give up the driver's seat and let Li Hao sit in it. The two of them directly exchanged seats. Buzz. Boom. Immediately afterwards, the Lamborghini engine made a huge roar. Then he rushed out with a swish, his speed instantly exceeded 100, and even reached an astonishing 120. Damn. Boss, slow down, this is an urban area. I still want to live. 114. Chin Do's expression changed drastically. Although he often raced cars, he had never tried it so quickly in the city. And it's impossible to drive in this urban area. However, today, he got to see what driving skills are in the true sense. Ahead, the Lamborghini caught up with the Mercedes-Benz in the blink of an eye. The next moment, Li Hao drove the Lamborghini and passed directly, coming to the side of a Ferrari. On the Ferrari, Ye Tian was imagining a beautiful scene for a while. He directly captured the girl who was with the guy and planned to take her to a villa on Yushan Mountain to have fun. He's actually a star. Zhen, this guy is quite powerful. He can even get stars, but now he's taking advantage of me. I'm afraid he hasn't even reacted yet. Ye Tian was having some beautiful fantasies in his heart, and he murmured again, with the smile on his face getting brighter. However, the next second, the smile on Ye Tian's face suddenly solidified. I saw another sports car appearing next to his car, a Lamborghini. The window of the Lamborghini was rolled down, and sitting on it was a young man who terrified him extremely. Why did you catch up with me? Ye Tian felt as if he had seen a ghost, and felt a sense of horror in his heart. It's not too late to stop and apologize now. Li Hao said coldly. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 211. You want me to apologize, how is that possible? Are you such an idiot? If you have the ability, just follow me. Ye Tian said to Li Hao with a proud face. Buzz. After Ye Tian finished speaking, he directly increased the accelerator. Ferrari immediately accelerated and rushed out. Seeing this scene, a sneer appeared on Li Hao's lips. Want to let yourself tag along? As you wish. Li Hao said lightly. Li Hao also guessed what the other party might have planned at the destination. He might want to harm himself, but what could he do in the face of absolute strength? Li Hao also wanted to see what the other party had prepared. Ye Tian. Next to Li Hao, Qin Do widened his eyes and said in surprise. As a rich second generation in the Magic City, he naturally knew Ye Tian, who was also a rich second generation. Did you offend a Ye family? Qin Do immediately asked Li Hao again. He. When Li Hao heard Qin Do's words, he laughed disdainfully, and then said in a deep voice. It was the Ye family that offended me. There was also a strong sense of pride in Li Hao's voice. Qin Do was stunned for a moment. What a crazy tone. Did the Ye family offend him? Half an hour later, Qin Do, who was in the passenger seat of the Lamborghini, answered a phone call. Hello? Who is this? The call was from a stranger, but he looked familiar. He didn't know who it was, so Qin Do said directly. Adieu, it's me. Another woman's voice rang on Qin Do's phone. Who are you? Qin Do felt that this voice was familiar, it should be a girl he had played with, but his brows wrinkled slightly. Li Hao next to him, at this moment, inadvertently glanced at the sky again. The kids are here. However, this child. Li Hao's heart was like a mirror. He already knew what would happen to Qin Do from the system prompt information, but the name was a bit strange. Adieu. Can you help me? Really? The next moment, the girl spoke softly on Qin Do's phone. Adieu, I am Wang Baiki. Have you forgotten me? More than 2 months ago, I was at the Baogalai Hotel. Qin Do suddenly remembered that more than a month ago, he slept with an internet celebrity in the Baogalai Hotel. His name was Wang Baiki. However, it was just for one night, and this Wang Baiki was not even his girlfriend. I remembered. If you have something to say, just say it, and if you fart, just let it go. I'll say it again, don't call me adieu. Qin Do immediately said again, but he was not polite at all. Okay, Qin Do. I'm pregnant with your child. The woman on the other side of the phone said slowly again. What? Pregnant with my child? Are you kidding me? If you want money, just say so. Also, are you sure the child is mine? Qin Do was used to this kind of thing. Someone had said this to him before, but Qin Do didn't care at all. Sometimes money can solve many things. Qin Do, the child is really yours. If you don't believe it, you can do a paternity test when you have time. Wang Baiki immediately said to Qin Do on the phone again. Even if the child is not born, a paternity test can also be done. Wang Baiki has already made arrangements, as long as Qin Do is willing to go. 5 million. It doesn't matter whether this child is mine or not. Qin Do said calmly again, in an understatement. Qin Do, no. This is not a matter of money. This is your own flesh and blood, the little crystallization of our coming. However, Wang Baiki on the phone was unwilling. 10 million. Qin Do said calmly again. Qin Do. Wang Baiki wanted to say something else, but was interrupted by Qin Do again. 20 million. Wang Baiki, don't go too far. If you were someone else, you wouldn't get a penny. You have to know whose territory this magical city belongs to. Qin Do, this is really not about money. It's convenient for you. Come and lie down here. I've sent you the address on WeChat. Okay, I'm pregnant, so I have to go to bed first. Good night, I love you, Qin Fight. After saying that, Wang Baiki hung up the phone directly. Rub. Qin Do was speechless and cursed, but his expression became a little ugly. He even offered 20 million, but the other party actually refused to agree, as if he was still not satisfied. If the other party's child is not your own, then everything is easy to say, but if it is really yours, it is absolutely impossible to give birth to it casually. Not just any woman can enter the Qin family's door. If his family knew about it, he would be scolded again and would have to deal with it himself in the end. Oh, it was a mistake. Qin Do couldn't help but sigh again, with helplessness written on his face. Ha ha! Did you send a child here? Next to him, Li Hao suddenly laughed when he saw Qin Do's appearance. Did you hear that too? This child shouldn't be mine. Qin Do stared and said weakly. Li Hao didn't say anything. Although I know what is going on, the other party may not believe what I say. Soon. Ye Tian, who was in front of him, drove his Ferrari directly to the front of a villa in Yushan. This Yushan is a famous mountain in the Magic City. It is not high, but it is very famous because it is where the rich live. The Ye family in the Magic City is located on this Sheshan mountain. It is called a villa, but it is more like a mountain villa. The lights in front will be brilliant, and the area is probably thousands or even tens of thousands of square meters. Ye Tian drove the Ferrari directly in, followed by the Mercedes-Benz behind. At the door, a series of sturdy figures appeared, a total of 20 to 30 people, and the leader was a bald middle-aged man with a fierce aura. Li Hao got off the Lamborghini directly. You can go. Li Hao said to Qin Do indifferently. What a big scene. These people are all innate warriors. I know the bald leader, it seems to be called Barnes, a Mongolian, the first guard of the Ye family, an extreme warrior, and half a foot into the foundation. Do you want to break in? Qin Do was shocked again and couldn't help but say to Li Hao. At this time, the voice of the bald man named Barnes in front came again coldly. Ye family's important place, no idle people allowed. Hearing the words of this bald man, Li Hao said with disdain and pride. Ye family's important place? What a Ye family's important place? Today, I want to see if you, the Ye family, are so bold that you dare to arrest my friends. As Li Hao's voice fell, Li Hao walked forward slowly. Li Hao naturally knew that these people were warriors, and Li Hao also sensed that there was a cultivator in this Ye family. But so what? Looking for death? Destroy him for me. The Barnes shouted sternly. The next moment, there were already several figures rushing towards Li Hao. A hint of sarcasm appeared at the corner of Li Hao's mouth, and he moved his body and punched directly. Bang! The speed was extremely fast. As soon as they met, a dull sound sounded. Ah! Then, a figure flew backwards. Bang, bang, bang. Then, Li Hao's position changed. Figures screamed one after another and fell down. At this moment, Li Hao turned into a thug in a suit. Wherever he passed, figures fell to the ground.